discussion about how the foundation could improve our support for the Blandin broadband communities, and Jason and Jamie showed up from Fond du Lac, so thank you for that, and Sam sat in too. And I got some great ideas. Some feedback that I got so far was that well, Sam has been with us through Merck and now into this stage, so in his impression, he thought that we talked about is how's the Facebook page working, you know, that we do that monthly, or the weekly rather, sort of update, and people thought that that was helpful. We talked a little bit about how some cases in the work settings you're not supposed to use Facebook, you know, it's like you're not supposed to at work use Facebook, and that was a little bit of a challenge. That was something was new to me, I wasn't aware of that. But overall, at least Sam thinks that the Facebook page is easier to use, more user-friendly than the name. And so that was good feedback for us. Also, really appreciated the technical assistance available through Broadband Community Resources, and including the idea of helping communities find additional resources outside of Blandin. So other grant-seeking efforts, other sources of financial support. Then that's not something that I'm aware we've been really doing that much of, although I may be wrong. Also, I got the great idea of, I think it was Jason's idea, who's been involved in a multiple cohort effort that the Bush Foundation supports, that we might want to call a cohort meeting that would cross-pollinate this group and the Merck communities, so to layer in communities that have been working over time on community-based efforts to promote adoption. I really like that idea. And then Sam suggested thinking about being a little more audacious. This idea about a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal, rather than letting every community or every community school district decide on its own how they wanted to use some of these technical resources like computers. If we were to, as an initiative, set a big goal like every 5th grade class in the state is going to have laptops for all the kids, or one full device availability for one elementary school in every district in the state, or some kind of big goal that we could all connect into, that might be a little more exhortative that way and inspiring, rather than real atomized down. There's obviously costs and benefits to that, and traditionally at Blandin we kind of think communities know best, and that's kind of the way it works now. Every community decides on its own, every school district. But I could see the appeal, if we were to make a big call like that, every 5th grade classroom in the state is going to. So anyway, that was something cool to think about. And we heard earlier in the day about people interested in webinar on doing a webinar on public Wi-Fi spots. We talked about the webinars and the challenges in busy professional lives to attend, knowing that you can listen to it later when it's recorded. Sometimes, if something comes up, you let it slip, and then you never get back to it. But I did get feedback from the people in the group that overall they thought that was a good, appreciated that content. So in terms of next steps in thinking about going forward, one of the questions that was asked was, do we want to declare victory in the 11.9 and 11.20 communities we worked with and move on? Their resources, you guys have gotten enough, we're done, and move on. Or would there be benefits to continue relationships and resources with the communities we're already engaged with? And brilliant idea was suggested that we should survey our Merck communities and you guys and ask and see if you think what your input ideas is around that. So a lot of really good feedback. Thank you very much.